What's going on, everybody? My name is Gerald White. I'm one of the leaders of the Commonwealth Music Group.
My name is Theory, one of the leaders of the Commonwealth Music Group.
I started engineering full time for this guy named Arsenal, who's like the #1 battle rapper right now. And he's pretty known in the battle world, lead and stuff like that. So from him, I was just doing features with like Kid Ink, Freeway, a lot of East Coast artists. Also outside of that, I was doing a lot of work with E1 Entertainment down in Atlanta. And I was working with a bunch of viral sensation people like 2 Millie, who did the Millie Rock on the Block. Another guy named Big Will, he had Dab on him. And so yeah, that's been like my recent, like those have been, not recent, but those have been like my main things I've done like in the past. But then when I moved over here to LA, the top of this year, I started working with Casey Veggies, who's on the Rock Nation. A guy named Domo Genesis, who's on the Sony right now, who used to be with Tyler the Creator. I'm also working right now with Buddy, who's on the RCA, who just dropped the album. And, yeah, I'm just getting my hands and feet wet right now. So yeah. I know me personally as a fan of music, just listening to certain sync libraries or just certain sync music in certain places or forms of media that I watch, I would listen to the urban music that's behind it and I'm like, okay, well, it's okay, but it seems like it's kind of not like real. It's a little fake. It's a little got a little corn on top, So
I'm excited about the catalog because it's diverse. We heard a lot of different genres, a lot of different feels. A lot of different vibes in it. So I'm pretty sure whoever's looking for whatever kind of flavor can find it from it.
My name is Johnny Thomas Jr. and I am a producer. Really one of my best friends in the world.
It's my brother.
Yeah. I've worked with Lupe Fiasco, Dricky Graham, Camila, T-Pain, just BET. I've done like 17 different syncs with BET Verse. I worked under Carlos Heineken. He's worked with Young Buck, G Unit, Kim Burrell, Willie Nelson, Snoop Dogg. Like Troy Oliver produced for Jennifer Lopez. Like these are people that brought me up and introduced me to different live situations.
I recently actually inked a deal with a camp called the Overriders, where we've already had the chance to work with Rufus Black. And if you guys don't know who Rufus Black is, that's like he ruled the 90s, early 2000s, B2K, Faith Evans. So incredible actor by the name of Joshua Triplett. We're actually working on his album. He's in like a ton of commercials and stuff, about to do music. So I've been fortunate to be able to do some work for Chris Martin of Coldplay last year, some background work, and then he called back so we can actually do the Coldplay album. So I got to do some backgrounds for that. Earlier this year, Cyndi Lauper also did some work on the LA show of the Diddy tour, the last one he did with all the Bad Boy reunion tour.
I brought him a part of my submissions to the Drip Library because he gets what I want to hear. Like I don't have to tell him what to do. Like he automatically gets the picture. Like I don't have to do any explanations or anything.
I appreciate
that. And you're kind of good at what you do.
I believe in you, your contributions and what you've done for this library as well as the other co-collaborators and other producers. I think, this will shake up industry, and I think the clients will be very, very happy when they see people literally buying this stuff on iTunes or wherever it'll be available after the show.
My name's Krunkadelic. I'm a songwriter and record producer.
My name's Justin Aaron. I'm a songwriter and producer as well. And
me, myself personally, I produced records for Sean Paul, Nelly Furtado, Jamie Foxx, Big Boy. I'm a frequent collaborator with Lunch Money Lewis. Ludacris, Shona, the whole DTP crew. I've worked with the R&B group Black. That was actually my first project. And done a lot of overseas stuff. Actually worked on the Jennifer Hudson commercial for Weight Watchers, the Feeling Good, so did that. Also Sex and the City 1 and 2, and Tower Heist. So I've worked with Rick Ross, Nas.
It wasn't creating something for the sake of mimicking something or capturing something. It was like actually finding the emotion that we were trying to capture and then conveying that.
Just always walking in with the mentality that we are trying to make the best music possible at that particular moment. And the beauty of that is that now Drip captures those moments.
I co-produced Welcome to America for Lecrae. I co-produced Blood Diamonds by The Game. I produced for Talib Kweli, Heads Up and Eyes Open, featuring Rick Ross and Yummy Bingham, as well as Chips with Talib Kweli featuring Waka Flocka. I got a couple of joints with, I co-produced Tabernacle by Royce the 5'9". I was given Southern hip hop and Afro beats. I thought it was a pretty cool category. Southern hip hop is such a wide range. You got your D4L stuff, and you got your Outkast, you got your UGK and things of that nature. So it was a broad spectrum to cover, and I think I covered all that spectrum. Now the Afro beats, I really enjoyed that because that's something that I really thrive in, from some of my work with The Game and Lecrae and many other artists. So it was cool. It kept me on my toes, and it was very fun and very fulfilling when it was all completed.
I'm excited about Drip Library in regards to being like the first batch, because I feel as if it gives us the opportunity to really like set the bar.
By providing music and good music, I just think it's a super incredible thing, and I hope for Drip to be able to break barriers and change the game up.
Started working for a couple of notable composers. One of them was Richard Wolff, Emmy-winning composer, CSI, NCIS, Three Kings, Nona Gay, Eazy-E. So I came up in the composing world as an assistant engineer first. Then I got into more record production, and then I started working with a bunch of notable different production teams like The Messengers, Media Mafia, Diesel from Wayne's Camp, a record with Rick Ross and Wiz Khalifa, and recorded all of Riff Raff's album in my studio with Diplo, sessions with Kesha, sessions with All For One, Boyz II Men, Wayne Brady. To me, going back to how I talked about approaching it, it was the same thing. It's like, this is the direction, this is the picture, this is what I want to see. Do you fit that? There's no micromanaging. You the artist, you do what you do best. I do what I do best. This is a niche thing, and you actually have an opportunity to create and make an impact. If you really watch films, if you really watch anything that is on the screen, it does not carry the same emotion without music.
We was doing progressive hip hop, contemporary hip hop, and art neo soul. So more specifically towards the hip hop, I feel like it was a chance to really capture a little bit of the essence of where it first started off at, foundation wise, all the way to what it is now currently. So bringing it all the way down to political topics and to issues that's going on to today with the progressive hip hop, and then contemporary hip hop that just gives you that fast, upbeat drive that just makes you move. And then the art neo soul, it just speaks to the soul.
Doing this, it was fun for me. I loved it. I got to get out some of the stuff we don't do currently in music. So I have to do current music, but riffs, runs, harmonies, backgrounds, real vocalists having to sing, growling, pulling it all out of them. That's what I did, and I think that's what we accomplished successfully. So I enjoy much of it.
I always have these debates when I go in the studios with people, and I always say that, I don't know so much about pop. I just know about making like genres so good that they become popular. And so in order to be able to do that, there has to be a sensibility when you walk in that, you want to always keep the intelligence and some level of integrity, or all of the integrity of the actual genre itself and the music, and also at the same time being able to really stress and push the envelope when it comes to the songwriting. And that's something that I really stress with a lot of the writers that I worked with and that I co-wrote with.
We can focus and talk about genres and talk about sound and all that. It's you capture the feeling that you want to focus on, and then afterwards, that's your basically canvas.
But I think with Drip Library, the expectation was set. Look, we want to change the face of sync music. We know the business of it. We know all of that, but we still want to be the face of sync music that is great. And I've put a lot of time, effort, and even emotional stuff into this to where I feel like it should do great things. So my expectations are really, really high because I feel like everyone's worked hard, and listening to some of these guys, everything that I've heard seems really, really incredible.